For any gardener, extending the growing season is a wonderful thing. It allows us to sow seeds earlier in the spring and keep our precious plants producing later into the autumn. This is where protected cropping comes into its own. The two most common structures we use for this are the greenhouse and the tunnel house, or polytunnel as it is often called. Both serve a similar fundamental purpose. They create a controlled environment, a little bubble of warmth and shelter, where plants can thrive away from the harshness of the open garden. They protect our crops from biting winds, heavy rain, and those unexpected late frosts that can undo so much of our hard work in a single night. This protection is the key to a more productive and reliable garden. A greenhouse, traditionally, is a structure with a rigid frame, often made of timber or aluminium, and glazed with glass or sometimes a hard, clear plastic like polycarbonate. It is a permanent and often rather beautiful addition to a garden, a real feature in its own right. Think of it as a proper little house for your plants. A tunnel house, on the other hand, is a simpler affair. It consists of a series of hoops, usually made from steel, which are then covered with a single, large sheet of tough polythene. It is more functional in its appearance, less of a statement piece, and more of a practical workspace designed purely for growing. Both capture the sun's energy, but their design and materials lead to different growing conditions inside. The basic principle for both is the same, what we call the greenhouse effect. Sunlight, which is made up of shortwave radiation, passes easily through the glass or polythene. This energy warms the soil, the plants, and the air inside the structure. This warmth is then radiated back as long-wave radiation, which cannot escape back through the covering as easily. The result is that the air inside the structure becomes, and stays, significantly warmer than the air outside. This simple trick of physics is what gives us the ability to grow tomatoes in cooler climates or start our lettuce seeds off in the chill of February, giving us a vital head start on the seasons. Deciding between these two wonderful structures is a common dilemma for gardeners looking to take the next step. It is not simply a matter of which one is better, as they each have their own unique set of advantages and are suited to different purposes, different gardens, and indeed, different gardeners. The choice you make will depend on what you want to grow, the space you have available, your budget, and how much time you are willing to dedicate to its upkeep. Over the course of this essay, we will explore these differences in more detail, helping you to understand which of these fantastic structures might be the perfect fit for your own patch of earth. The greenhouse is, for many, the archetypal garden dream. Its great strength lies in its ability to retain heat and create a stable, controlled environment. Because glass is an excellent insulator and the structure is well sealed, a greenhouse holds on to daytime warmth far longer into the night than a tunnel house. This stability is incredibly beneficial for raising tender seedlings and growing heat-loving crops like aubergines, peppers, and cucumbers. The consistent warmth encourages strong, steady growth and can significantly improve your chances of a successful harvest, particularly in a climate like ours where summer evenings can still carry a surprising chill. It is a reliable sanctuary for the most delicate of plants. Another significant benefit of the greenhouse is the amount of light it lets in. Glass offers superior light transmission compared to polythene, which can degrade and become less clear over time. This high level of light is crucial for photosynthesis, the process by which plants make their food, and is especially important during the shorter, darker days of early spring and late autumn. A bright, airy greenhouse provides the ideal conditions for overwintering tender perennials like pelargoniums or fuchsias, keeping them alive and healthy until they can be brought back out the following year. The clarity of the glass allows you to appreciate your plants fully, turning the space into a beautiful room filled with life. From a practical standpoint, a greenhouse offers excellent control over ventilation. Most are designed with roof vents and side vents or louvees, which can be opened and closed precisely to manage temperature and humidity. Good air circulation is absolutely vital for preventing fungal diseases like botrytis or blight, which can thrive in stagnant, damp conditions. You can even install automatic vent openers that work on a temperature-sensitive piston, opening the vents when it gets too hot and closing them as it cools down. This level of control allows you to create the perfect microclimate for whatever you choose to grow inside, from tropical orchids to a simple row of carrots. Finally, we cannot ignore the aesthetic appeal and longevity of a well-made greenhouse. A handsome cedar-framed structure or a sleek aluminium one can be a stunning focal point in any garden design. It speaks of permanence and a serious commitment to gardening. Because they are built from durable materials like glass, timber, and metal, they are designed to last for decades if properly cared for. While the initial investment is higher, a greenhouse is a long-term addition to your home and garden, a space that will provide pleasure and produce for many, many years to come. It becomes more than just a place to grow, it becomes part of the garden's soul. Where the greenhouse offers elegance and stability, the tunnel house or polytunnel offers practicality and space at a much more accessible price point. The most immediate and compelling benefit of a tunnel house is the sheer amount of growing area you get for your money. For the same cost as a small greenhouse, you can often afford a very generously sized tunnel house. This makes them the perfect choice for gardeners who want to grow large quantities of food for their family, perhaps aiming for a degree of self-sufficiency. You can fit in long rows of brassicas, beans, and salad crops, with plenty of room for successional sowings throughout the year. The environment inside a tunnel house is also slightly different from that of a greenhouse. The polythene cover diffuses the sunlight, scattering it more evenly throughout the structure. This means there are fewer harsh shadows and less risk of plants being scorched by intense direct sun. This softer, diffused light is particularly good for leafy greens like lettuce and spinach, which can be prone to bolting in the fierce heat of a glass house. While a tunnel house heats up very quickly on a sunny day, it also cools down faster at night. This fluctuation can be managed, but it creates a robust environment that produces strong, hardy plants that are well acclimatized to life in the garden. One of the great joys of a tunnel house is its versatility. Because of its size, you are not just limited to growing in pots and grow bags. You can create large, deep beds directly in the soil on the floor of the tunnel. This allows you to improve the soil year after year with compost and manure, creating a wonderfully fertile growing medium. It means you can grow root vegetables like carrots and beetroots straight in the ground, protected from pests like the carrot fly. You can also work inside it comfortably, sheltered from the wind and rain, making it a true all-weather workspace for potting up, sowing seeds, and tending to your crops, whatever the weather is doing outside. Furthermore, a tunnel house is a relatively simple structure to erect and can even be considered semi-permanent. If you move house or decide to reorganize your garden, it is possible, with a bit of effort, to dismantle the frame and move it to a new location. This flexibility is a real advantage for those who are renting or are not yet settled in their forever garden. Their simple design also means repairs are straightforward. If the polythene cover gets a tear, it can be easily patched with special repair tape. And when the cover eventually needs replacing after several years, it is a manageable and relatively inexpensive job to undertake. Choosing between a greenhouse and a tunnel house ultimately comes down to your personal gardening ambitions and circumstances. If your main goal is to raise delicate seedlings, grow exotic, heat-loving plants, and add a beautiful, permanent feature to your garden, then a greenhouse is likely the better choice for you. The initial cost is higher, but the superior heat retention, light quality, and controllable ventilation provide the perfect conditions for more specialized growing. It is an investment in a controlled and stable environment, a place where you can nurture the most demanding plants with precision and care, enjoying the space as much as the produce it yields. On the other hand, if your priority is to produce large volumes of food crops, extend your seasons for everyday vegetables, and get the most growing space for your budget, then a tunnel house is an unbeatable option. It is the workhorse of the productive garden. It provides ample room for growing directly in the soil, protecting your staple crops from the worst of the weather and allowing you to achieve a much greater degree of self-sufficiency. For the beginner gardener, a tunnel house can be a less intimidating and more forgiving starting point, offering a huge sheltered space to experiment and learn in. It is all about maximizing your harvest. Regardless of your choice, proper maintenance is key to getting the most from your structure. For both, keeping the covering clean is paramount. A yearly wash with a gentle detergent will remove the buildup of dirt and algae, ensuring that the maximum amount of light can reach your plants. In a greenhouse, check for cracked panes of glass and failing seals. In a tunnel house, regularly inspect the polythene cover for any small rips or tears, and patch them immediately to prevent them from getting bigger. Ensuring vents and doors open and close properly is also crucial for managing that all-important airflow on hot days. Ultimately, there is no wrong answer. Both a greenhouse and a tunnel house will transform your gardening, opening up a whole new world of possibilities. My advice to any beginner is to start with what you can afford and what fits your space. Even the smallest structure will make a huge difference. Think honestly about what you want to grow. Is it big crops of potatoes and cabbages, or is it tender chilies and overwintering your beloved pelargoniums? Answering that question will guide you to the right structure. Either way, you are embarking on a wonderful journey, creating a sheltered paradise where you can make things grow all year round.